Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Kickstart This here with Empire's Comics Vault. Tonight, we will be talking to a Sacramento creative team about a new Kickstarter they have launching for Space Oddities #2. Welcome to the show, Ben Robinson and John Williams. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks for having us, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, of course. Now we're gonna start by watching the video so everyone can see what they're in for, and then we're gonna come back and we'll talk to you guys about what got this started, what they can expect from the Kickstarter, and why they should do it.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Montana Bones, you scamp. What's wrong? Are you okay?
There's a monster under my bed.
Monster, you say? Mm-hmm. Let me take a look.
Mm-hmm.
John, you stupid idiot. It's not a monster. It's the Kickstarter for Space Oddities #2.
Yes!
After a technically successful job to recover a stolen artifact, the crew of the Aftosa and their uninvited guest have set a course for Rygar 6. They just have to make one stop on the way. What could possibly go wrong?
Space Oddities, the beautiful, talented, and great-smelling love child of Indiana Jones and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's an adventure comedy story about the crew of the Aftosa, Jorge MacSanchez and Dirk. They are in the business of locating and procuring lost or misappropriated antiquities. While on a job, a young woman named Jhett Paxton suddenly becomes an unsolicited crew member. Jett's quest to find her mother will point them toward a fabled artifact of immense power and all the danger that comes with it. It's a screwball space adventure with a little heart. Visit spaceodditiescomic.com for more info.
All right, that was wonderful. Now, I have a couple comments there. Number one, you are an ugly baby.
I was when I was young, too.
Nice. Number two, I love the fact that you said it's a love child between Indiana Jones and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, because I think that's what this world has been missing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some screwball space adventure, man. That's where it's at.
And this is, as everyone out there, this is, of course, #2, which means #1 is available through them or on our wall here at Empire's Comics. But we're going into 2, and let's go back a little bit. How did you two end up teaming up, and what made you decide to do this particular book and a Kickstarter?
Well, I mean, we've been buddies since we were in 5th grade. So we've known each other for about 25 years. And, we came up with this idea about 15 to 20 years ago. We were out of high school and just farting around, and we were super into the Adult Swim scene at the time. Everything coming out that was just wacky off the wall, like Harvey Birdman and Sea Lab and Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Back in the golden years. So we wanted to make a cartoon proposal. So that's what this originally started out as, and over the years it evolved, and there's a lot more work and knowledge than goes into a cartoon proposal than we had at the time. I went to cartoon college, but we always had it on our minds, but it took us a number of years to get it just right and to be ready to actually put it out.
Yeah, and when we finally got ready to hey, let's do something with Space Oddities, comics seemed like something that we could do, just the two of us, and not have to get a studio to buy into it. So, and John's always wanted to draw comics anyway. So, it worked out well.
No, it was the perfect mix, a medium that you're well familiar with. So a great place to start it at, because wanting to make it into a cartoon, that doesn't mean you still can't, because comic books right now are just pretty much the storyboards for everything going up in Hollywood as we speak. So it could definitely be a thing.
You can't depend on that big Hollywood paycheck, but it's always on people's minds when you're creating something like this. I try to go for as cinematic a look as possible, even though I'm not like Brian Hitch widescreen. clear storytelling is something I'm always shooting for. So somebody can just visualize it as a cartoon, or whatever they like.
Yes. Okay. So you guys decided to do a Kickstarter for the volume 1, which was obviously a success, and we're able to get it into people's hands. And now you're going for number 2. Is this something that is going to be an ongoing, or do you have a definitive end?
Yeah. We've got right now we've got it planned, like the first arc planned out. We got a 6-issue arc is kind of the first story we want to tell. After that, the arc ends in such a way that it's open for the adventure to continue, in maybe a more serialized form where, maybe we do like some smaller 2-issue arcs before we jump into a big one. But the intention is to kind of create something that we can keep working with for time immemorial.
yeah. It can end if it needs to, or it can keep going if we want it to. I like to describe our first 6-issue arc as sort of our movie, or the first season of our TV show. It tells one complete story. If it was an Indiana Jones property, it would be our Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay, well, you know what we completely skipped? We showed the video. Would you two tell them what they're in store for with this book?
Laughs, cries. No, it really is
at heart.
Yeah. It is a space adventure story that's meant to be just a lot of fun. Like that I think is the core of this story. Like whether it's the adventure side or the comedy side, or pulling at your heartstrings a little bit, with what's going on with one of the main characters. It's just supposed to be a lot of fun. We just want to entertain people and put a smile on people's faces. Like this isn't Godfather or 10 Commandments or anything. Like this isn't something you have to. Well, I guess you don't have to think so hard for Godfather, but this isn't Citizen Kane. Let's call it that. This is just you're supposed to have some fun in space.
Okay, and 6 issues is quite an endeavor for both of you, because this is something you're doing all on your own. And people see comics come out monthly and they think, oh, how hard can it be? But let's go into a little bit about this for you guys, because it's not. I mean, not only are you just doing the Kickstarter, but you've got to have all those pages drawn, edited, colored, edit the writing, the whole deal. So where do you find the time to do this?
I mean, it's usually between the couch cushions. We're trying to eke out something. And that, I mean, unfortunately, that's kind of why, like the first one, the Kickstarter was a year ago, and because we've got lives and stuff going on, we're gonna try and be a little bit quicker about that, better about that this next time. But life has a way of getting in the way occasionally. So you just gotta make time for it when you can.
Now, do you have any special tricks to do that? Because I know there's a lot of people who want to do what you're doing, and one of the biggest problems that people find is trying to find the time. I mean, is there a trick either one of you use?
Time management has always been and probably will always be one of my big issues with all this. But it really is just finding the hour or two each day, that you can. Just at the end of the night, people are going to sleep. I know you want sleep, but take an hour and do some drawing. Just make little bits of progress throughout the day, because there's never going to be a time, especially on a weekday, where I've got a full 8 hours to devote to this. I have a day job, I've got a family. So it's just finding those moments and actually using them, and not picking up a video game controller, which at the end of the last campaign, that once everything's fulfilled, you're like, okay, like I earned myself a little break. But as we can see, you don't really get to, if you want to keep going at a decent clip, which we didn't really do this last time. So hopefully this time around, once this is all done, we crank out issue number 3. I just move on to the next one at the same pace, because right now, it's jam time.
Yeah, and Kyron agrees with you. He says the trick is not to sleep, which is exactly what you started with.
Exactly. My joke answer, like my joke and terrifyingly serious answers would be forego sleep and neglect your family. I mean, just you have to make the time to go out and do the. Don't sit on the couch and scroll through Twitter or watch something on TV. Like I'm way behind on like all the Marvel shows and stuff because I haven't been watching them.
I mean, but this is a passion project for you. So this is something
Yeah.
that you're excited about, and it keeps you going. Which is, I got to tell you guys, it's extremely inspiring from that regard. So don't think that you've gone slow. The fact that you're doing another one just a year later is pretty impressive to me. And people are very forgiving on Kickstarter. They know you have your own lives. Like you said, you have your families, this is not your full-time job. So, hats off to you guys. I think you've done a really good job so far.
Thank you. Yeah, I was a little surprised with one person we were talking to about this project that they're like, oh yeah, it's only a year later and you're doing it again, and we're like, okay, that's not the reaction I was expecting. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, I think you guys are going to be harder on yourselves.
Always.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, it's tough to expect people to stay excited about something for a year, like it's almost best that they like enjoy, like I hope they enjoyed the first one and then they kind of forgot about it a little bit. And then like they see it again. They're like, all right, cool. It's back. And it maintains some sort of enthusiasm. Like it'd be great to put it out monthly, but not unless this was a professional gig. There's just no way.
Yes, no, most definitely. Well, you guys, you still have 2 weeks left in the Kickstarter, which is great. And can we pop up the Kickstarter there again to let people see where they're going? They can also go to your website, which is simply spaceoddities.com, correct?
Space Oddities comic. Somebody else took Space Oddities.
Okay, I guess that would make sense. So it's spaceodditiescomics.com. And can they check out anything? Well, you know what? Hold on. Let's go back to the Kickstarter. What are some of the rewards they can expect from this thing?
So we've got some of the kind of some of the standards. We've got a digital. You can get a digital copy of the book for $5. You've got a physical copy for 10. We are offering this time around a variant cover by the very talented and local Chris Alvarez. Did a killer variant cover for us.
Yeah, there they are.
Yeah. And so if you back at the physical level, you get to pick which cover you want.
That's cool.
Then we've got a catch-up bundle where you can get a print copy of the first one and along with the second one. We've got some of the other cool stuff. We've got a sketch cover that is the sketch cover is the first book. So if you didn't get the first book, you could get the super cool catch-up package of a sketch cover and the new book.
Yeah, the sketch cover tier does come with a copy of number 2. We're not just going to shortchange anyone out of there. As you can see on the screen there, we've got trading cards. Those designs are, as anybody around our age recognizes the design there, but that's not final. We were just using Marvel Series 2 as our template. We're gonna draw up some all new cards for that. We've got the metal bookmark right there, stainless steel. I love the classier than TP. I just want to call it classy, but I'm like, oh nope, I don't want to ruin that line there. Love it. And we've got original art tiers. You can get a original illustration, full color by either myself or Ben. Yep, there we go there.
As you can tell, John's better at this than I am.
Yeah, that was a fun one. It started as I think kind of a joke on the first one because Ben wanted to be more involved in it because I just we write it together and then I take off and draw the thing. So he threw his hat in the ring and he got a lot of really cool suggestions. You got to draw a hedgehog eating fries in space. Like that was a lot of fun. You can get drawn into the book there. That's a local man, Adam Kellenberger, as a butt stuff guy. Or butt stuff guard, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got the original comic pages. You can get yourself a piece of the original art from the comic book. With the first issue, we had pencils and inks, but this time around on the second issue, I'm penciling digitally. So, but I'm inking traditionally. So we do still have original art pages to give out. And to be honest, I don't know why somebody would want pencils instead of inks anyway. Unless my inks suck, but we're not giving you the option this time around.
I don't.
No, you know they don't. So of course they want them. So great, everybody. What you've got to do is you got to go check these guys out. Look at the Kickstarter, please. Go to the website. Check out their handles on where do you prefer? I know you have the most unique Instagram name I've ever seen. Beefy McStudley.
Yep, Beefy McStudley. There it is. Oh, I like the visual there because I've been having to say LUI at the end just in case. It feels more like a name when it's got the LUI at the end. Otherwise, it's just a descriptor.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And what about you, Ben? Where would you like us to send them to take a peek at you?
I mean, I run the Twitter stuff, so either at Space Oddities Co. or our podcast Twitter, Geek Exploration or Geek Explore Pod, but it's for Geek Exploration, the podcast.
That's amazing. Everybody, please take a peek. Go look at the very least to see what they have to offer. If you want to flip through one, come to the shop and take a peek. And then, of course, just go on and buy 1 and 2 through the Kickstarter rather than get it here since they have it available for you. And let's just help these local Sacramento boys bring this home. I know you guys are going to do it, so I'm not too worried, but I'm glad you joined us here on the show because it's always fun to talk to new people.
Yeah, appreciate you having us.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks.
so much for the time.
Yes, of course. So everybody, I'll ask you when I see you in the shop, but I'm sure you've already taken a peek at this Kickstarter. So go support it, and I will talk to you two in the shop. Have a great night, everyone.